Hey guys, it's Courtenay-Smith here, and welcome to my presentation, How to Run Profitable Facebook Ads for E-Commerce Businesses. So what we're going to do today is walk through a number of different things. It's going to be a pretty practical hands-on presentation with quite a lot of learning. I do talk quite fast. I'm going to try not to talk too fast, but I want to get through everything in about 20 minutes, because 25 minutes, because I know that everyone is super busy and you want answers now. We all want answers now, right? So we're going to try and get through this in 20 minutes, and let's dive straight in and get started. So I'm going to I've got slides behind me, and this is a presentation I often give on behalf of Facebook. I'm part of a group of 8 independent trainers for Facebook last year for their She Means Business campaign. Last year, I helped train 10,000 entrepreneurs in how to use Facebook for business, and mainly that was around for advertising on Facebook and Instagram. And so I'm going to be sharing the slides that I share at all these talks that I give, and also I'm going to be coming into Ads Manager and actually showing you inside real accounts so you can really see how Facebook ads work and need to work for e-commerce businesses. So let's get started. So how to run profitable Facebook ads for e-commerce. So have you ever had this experience with Facebook ads? And this is a really common experience, and I see this time and time again, where you feel super excited, you just think they're going to nail it. Even more excitement, and then you boost a post or run an ad, and then it doesn't work, and you have dismay and despair and frustration and confusion. If you've had this, you're not alone. Every single week I audit a lot of ad accounts. I go under the hood of lots of e-commerce ad accounts for SME e-commerce businesses and bigger brands. And what I see, I very rarely see an account that's set up properly and running really, really well. Part of what I am really passionate about doing is helping people get this stuff sorted out. So what we're going to be talking about today is getting started with advertising, core customer and lookalike audiences and why these matter so much. Things you need to do before you even think about advertising. We're going to look at an e-commerce funnel. I'm going to be walking you through very real e-commerce funnels. We're going to look at ad creative split testing, and afterwards I'm going to ask if you've got any questions to email them into me. So as an e-commerce brand manager or brand owner, you have 3 choices. Choice number 1 is to manage the deep complexity of campaigns and ad spend and try and figure out how to acquire the level of experience and expertise that you need to optimize every pound that you spend and run profitable campaigns. Number 2 is to recruit a part or full-time employee or employees to do that, to run your campaigns for you and hope that they get it right. And number 3 is to work with an agency and people you like and trust that can minimize your time and investment and ad spend investment and maximize your revenue and profits. And we're going to come back to those questions later in this presentation. Firstly, who am I? My name is Tash, and I am an ex-journalist at publications including the Daily Mail and women's magazines. In 2008, I set up my own online PR and press agency business, Talk to the Press. It really was a pioneer in its field. The first press agents, one of the first press agencies in the UK to source stories using the internet. So I have been head down in the internet for 10 years now, keeping on top of all trends and updates and everything, and using internet marketing techniques. The whole of Talk to the Press was driven by internet marketing techniques. They've changed a lot, since 2008 to 2018, things are different, but the principles for somebody like me, whether as a business owner and now as an agency owner, remains the same, and that principle is never stop learning, because it's always going to change, and probably some of you who are experiencing that already. So I sold that business in 2014 and started working as a digital marketing strategist and publicist. I think I'd sold an online business and people started asking me to help with their online businesses. I'm the author of a best-selling book called The $1 Million Blog, and my second book called Stand Out Online, which is about building a profitable personal brand, is coming out in November this year. My agency is called Bolt Digital, and we specialize in 2 main things: building personal brands for influencers who lead businesses. So if this may be relevant to you as an e-commerce owner. If you are the face of your business, it's often relevant to CEOs and entrepreneurs and people who run private clinics. And the second area we specialize in is profitable Facebook marketing, especially for e-commerce businesses. And I'm one of Facebook's trainers for their She Means Business campaign. Our goal this year is to train 50,000 entrepreneurs in how to use Facebook for their business. So from 10,000 to 50,000, 10,000 last year to 50,000 this year, no pressure. So at the end of this presentation, I'm going to share some information with you about a product of ours called Bolt Blueprint. And this is a product that enables us to go into your ad account, give it a thorough audit, and present you back with your own personalized funnel, which is exactly the ads you need to be running and how to run them, which audiences, which creatives, which days, what metrics are you looking for, how you're going to measure success, and also 2 calculators that we are super proud to have developed. Firstly is our return on investment calculator, which everyone always says to us, how much am I going to have to spend on these ads? How much is it going to cost to acquire a customer? It's like, don't ask me, the calculator will work it out for you. And the second calculator is your abandoned cart, missed revenue calculator, which gives you some idea of what you could reclaim on your e-commerce brand and campaigns if you could nail your abandoned cart issues. So those 2 calculators are part of the blueprint, and I'll tell you more about that at the end of the presentation. So social advertising with Facebook and Instagram, let's get started. So I love these figures which show the march of advertising revenue into Facebook. If you look at 2016, 5,201 million, 51% increase, 2017 to 7,857 million in ad spend. And the reason this march is taking place is because Facebook is not only cheap right now versus, say, traditional forms of advertising like underground signs and radio and TV and magazines, but you also get data. It's not just about putting it out there and hoping someone sees it. You get data, you get learnings. It's so much more effective. Oh my God, whenever I see anyone advertising on the tube, I'm like, why the hell are you advertising on the tube? You have to be kidding me. Like, have you guys just got money to burn? Perhaps people do have money to burn. I don't know. So let's think about the differences between Facebook and Google. So, with Google having been around for so long, most of us are familiar with the concept of search-based advertising. Facebook is the opposite. So if I'm searching on Google and I want red shoes, I know I want red shoes and I'm happy to see red shoes and I'm actively looking for red shoes. If I'm on Facebook, I'm minding my own business and then some red shoes appear, and then whoever's selling those red shoes have got to take me through a journey to really make me think, from just seeing them to making me think I must buy them. And that's why when you're advertise. That's why some people specialize in Google and some people specialize in Facebook. Actually, as an agency, we do both, but you have to have a different mindset. The same people don't tend to work on Facebook as they do on Google, because you have to have a different mindset, because it's a different type of behavior. And you can really feel this if you think about your own mentality when you're using Google versus when you're using Facebook. Facebook is an entertainment zone, a place for relaxation and a place for discovery. It's like the same thing. I'm searching best hotel in Sussex on Google. I'm insanely trying to find the best hotel in Sussex in Google. On Facebook, it's like a hotel in Sussex shows itself to me. I'm like, looks nice, might go there one day. What's going to make me take action to book at that point? That's the difference in the mentality for the approach for advertisers. You've also got to bear in mind that Facebook is a very busy landscape. We could actually see 15,000 posts per day if we maxed out our friends and groups and pages. But the algorithm, the mysterious algorithm, narrows it down to about 1,500 posts. And from that pool of content, Facebook narrows it down. So most of us see around 300 posts and ads a day. But that depends how long you're on Facebook. What you see is a direct result of how much time is spent there. Facebook prioritizes friend content over everything else, and most of us see an ad every 3 posts. This stat makes me laugh that most of us visit Facebook on average 14 times a day, because I visit Facebook on average 14 times a day, probably by about 10 o'clock in the morning. But I do live there because of what we do as an agency. But anyway, 14 times a day. And the good news is that small SMEs can compete with big brands, because ads is not just about money. If you get your targeting and ad message and creative right, your ad can spread in the same way your organic content does. There was an algorithm update earlier this year, which sent a lot of people who rely on Facebook and Instagram for business into a frenzy. From my point of view, it didn't affect any of our clients. We don't work with brands or businesses unless they have budget for ad spend. We're not interested in organic growth. We're interested in scalable, measurable, systematic scaling of businesses, and you need ad spend to do that. So when you first go onto Facebook, it makes it very easy to choose what your goals are and set up your campaign. It's very user-friendly. Do you want to boost your post, promote your page, send people to your website, increase conversions on your website? But before you hit any of these buttons, I want you to stop. There is a lot of things you need to do before you start advertising if you want to advertise successfully. The first thing, and hopefully all of you have got this sussed, is to install the Facebook Pixel on your website in a GDPR compliant way, of course. Any questions about GDPR, please email me, but really it's about the best way to do it is to use a plugin for your site like CookieBot, and there's another one, CookieBiscuit, that will solve the problem for you. You must install a Facebook Pixel. It enables Facebook to match your website visitors and what they're doing on your site with their profile on Facebook so that you can remarket to them. It also enables you to create custom audiences. So within Facebook, there are 3 main audiences that you can target with your ads: core, custom, and lookalike. Now, core audiences are those interest-based audiences. And I like to think of them as being best guess audiences, because really it's you saying, oh, my ideal customer for my e-commerce brand is a woman and she's aged 35 to 45 and she reads the Times and she shops at Joseph. Now, you may be right, and hats off to you if you are, but quite often what we see when we start working with brands, you always normally start with core audiences unless they've got data, is that that's great for just kind of casting the net out in the right sort of direction, finger to the wind, but it's not necessarily accurate over the long term. And you want to get into a point where you're using custom and lookalike audiences, ideally over core audiences, at least for the first 6 months of your campaign. So your custom audiences include your actual customers, your email list, those who've engaged with your content on Facebook. By the way, your email list, yes, it's got to be GDPR compliant. Just insert that there. Please make sure it is. And then your website visitors and people who've bought specific items or visited specific pages on your website. Custom audiences are very easy to set up. We're looking inside ad manager here, go to custom audience, and then you can set up custom audiences of people who've done specific things. You can also set up event-based custom audiences, people who've added to cart or people who have purchased a product, people who've purchased more than once. I love time-based evergreen stack custom audiences. So this is a really successful campaign we ran. We're actually selling off-plan property for about £300,000. Well, between 200 and 300,000 pounds. We put the people who had downloaded the brochure through an evergreen stack of content. So for 0 to 4 days after downloading, for 4 to 8 after downloading, for 8 to 12, etc., and delivered different ads, retargeting ads, based on those different actions over those days. So we ended up selling £2.5 million of property from £17,000 in ad spend, and the evergreen stack was a massive part of that strategy. Evergreen retargeting stack. And that was done through thinking about and using custom audiences in a very clever and divided way. So you really want to get to a point where you're mainly focusing on custom and lookalike audiences. And we're being targeted like this by brands the whole time. For instance, just to show you a few ads that appeared on my feed recently, if you go and click on this right-hand arrow here, you can see why you're seeing this ad. So Bloom and Wild is reaching women aged 25 or older. That's a core audience, the best guess audience. They showed that ad to me. I am sadly over 25. Liz Earle want to reach me because I'm on their customer list. Yes, I am a customer of Liz Earle. They are retargeting me. And this brand Truva, giftware brand, want to reach me because I'm similar to their customers. Yes, so it's a lookalike audience, and it can be really helpful to do this when you see ads and just look at the way different brands are targeting you to help you come up with ideas for your own e-commerce brand. So you've got your audience set up, the pixels installed, back to your campaigns, and you're going to get straight in and you're going to be like, yes, I'm going to increase conversions on my website. But before you go any further, I want you to stop again. First of all, let's take a look around some real e-commerce funnels. I'm going to come out of this presentation and I'm going to go into Ads Manager to show you some real stuff in terms of how you need to be thinking before you launch an e-commerce funnel. So this is a brand that an e-commerce brand we've been working with recently. Now, we don't often accept new e-commerce brands with unproven products and untested to the market because it's just really high risk for us as an agency and the investment you have to put into building an e-commerce funnel, and you don't know if anyone's going to buy it or not. But this was someone I met when I did a talk for Facebook, and I just loved the product and knew it would sell. So we took this brand and launched it on Facebook and Instagram, and within 6 months, we'd reached 60 grand per month revenue. We're on target to hit 6-figure months, so over $1 million in revenue within our first year of trading. I really wish this was my brand, but it's not. So just to show you the funnel and how it looks, the funnel map, top of funnel, we're targeting this group of people. So our interest-based targeting, the lookalike of people who've bought already, the lookalike of our website visitors, and we're bringing them through our top of funnel Facebook ad, and we're bringing them to our product page. We've also got traffic coming in from social, organic, direct, etc., who are coming on the main site and going to the product page. Now, obviously, we'd hope they'd check out, purchase, bam, done, job done. But that's obviously not what happens. Lots of people check out and don't purchase. So at that point, they go into our middle of funnel sequence targeting, where we could put them through an evergreen content stack. So over a period of days, we show them different content to help them over the line, like customer testimonials, more information about the product, the brand owner's story. We test so much stuff to help convince them to come back to the product page and buy and check out. Finally, bottom of funnel for those purchasers is about encouraging them to repurchase. So keeping them in our world, keeping them educated about new products, etc., making them become loyal customers. So the results on this campaign have been great. You can see the brand's growing up to 80% month on month. ROI is 8.8, and tactical marketing and remarketing, so bottom of funnel, have given them a repeat purchase rate of 35%. Brilliant, a brilliant case study. But in terms of thinking about your funnel, let's just get inside this ad account now, and I'll show you actually what's gone on in there. That's the wrong ad account. Here we are. So if I just move this out of the way. So what you can see in here is all the different testing that's gone on to get that result. This isn't just a question of turning on some ads. Look at this. 84 campaigns have been run. And that's talking about those different, look, you can see the label here, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, top of funnel. 84 campaigns. 291 ad sets. 407 ads, actually all of these for this brand, all video ads. Video ads just work brilliantly in e-commerce. So that funnel map, what I showed you, is just, it's like, that's what it requires. I very rarely, I think I've already mentioned, I audit a lot of ad accounts every week. I very rarely go into an ad account and see this sort of setup. If I do, then great, you're sorted, but I very, very rarely do. And that is how a successful e-commerce funnel looks. Not a couple of boosted posts or one ad conversion optimized, or even 4 campaigns. 84 campaigns you've got there. To bring you on some other recent results we've got here, this is a, what brand is this? These are both fashion e-commerce brands, 7.69 return on ad spend. Again, look at all these campaigns. Look at all the ad sets. And another one, this is another fashion brand. Again, 7.27 return on ad spend over the last 30 days. Great, brilliant, whippity-doo. But look at all the testing, look at the strategy, look at the different things. So this is someone, bottom of funnel, retargeting add to cart who hasn't purchased. Bottom of funnel, upsell. Middle of funnel, retargeting social engagers and site visitors. Middle of funnel, retargeting people who view content and haven't added to cart. We are separating out every single action. It's like, separate out everything and then put in creative that appeals exactly to that person based on that action. That is how a proper e-commerce funnel looks. I told you I get really excited. So, right, let me just go back to the presentation. So we just took a look inside an e-commerce funnel. And even before you get started with that, I want you to get your ducks in a row. You will get better results if you focus on first building custom audience. I mean, seriously, particularly if you're on a budget, don't launch your campaigns until you've spent 2-3 months building website traffic, building email lists, increasing social followers, getting video engagement. Otherwise, you will literally be having to spend money to get this data. So where you don't have data, you can invest to get the data in testing, but the more you can get the data ahead, the less testing. And really focusing on building your own world and custom audiences and taking them on that individualized journey, and keep doing this even when you start advertising. This is the marketing funnel from Facebook's point of view: discovery, intent, and loyalty. It's the same top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. It's just different language for the same thing. Finally, split testing. Now, I showed you inside those campaigns and you saw the amount of split testing of copy and creative and all the different ads and targeting. Ad Espresso, you can do it in Ads Manager. I mean, we do it in Ads Manager, that's fine. But if you find Ads Manager a bit overwhelming and you get bored of hitting the duplicate button to change just one parameter here or there, then Ad Espresso is an absolutely brilliant tool that I also love, that helps you split test. So you can see here, you can publish out lots of different variations. It will cross-test them all against each other, and then it will present back to you which one's working, which one's not. So you can see here that the creative on the left was performing much better than creative on the right. Look, cost per conversion. Ad Espresso just tells me that. The same with this. This is our off-plan property client. The creative on the left was performing better than the creative on the right. And you split test words and pictures and everything, and then you just turn off that set of creatives. It also presents your data back in a really easy to understand way. Ads Manager can be difficult to understand. It definitely takes a lot of learnings, as does Business Manager. But you can see that custom audiences always outperform lookalike audiences. So your custom audience here has got a 4% click-through rate and versus lookalike. Look at the difference in cost per click, £1 versus 14 pence. So that's why it's so important to build out those custom audiences, like increase website traffic, because you'll spend less on advertising. So, and your core audiences will typically sit over here and be a bit more expensive again. So for you as an e-commerce business owner or an e-commerce brand manager, you have three choices. Learn it all yourself. It's like, learn it all yourself. I was just thinking it's like that phrase, do it yourself, do it with help, or get it done for you. So, learn it all yourself and do what I do and keep on top of everything and learn and test and, work it out bit by bit. Recruit someone full-time or an employee with all that associated cost and train and manage them to do it, or work with an agency and people you like and trust that can minimize your time and ad spend and maximize your revenue and profits. Obviously, I'm going to say your best bet is to work with an agency. No, I mean, really, everyone is unique and it's not always the best. Like I said, we audit a lot of ad accounts. It's absolutely not always most suitable for people to work with us. What I do want to tell you about, though, is our Bolt Blueprint product, which is pretty much suitable for most people in terms of enabling us, getting the expertise of my team and I on your ad account. And the output, what you get back from that is you get your personalized funnel map. So this map tells you your top of funnel. It tells me your ad sets, your creatives, who you're going to be targeting, how you're going to be targeting them, what you're going to be targeting with, the journey they're going to go on. It tells you different testing opportunities. And then your middle of funnel, which tells you how you're going to retarget them. What's that evergreen stack going to look like? What groups you're going to retarget and why? And then your bottom of funnel. So you get your own personalized, unique funnel map, and you also get key metrics so you can understand how well your ads are performing. Plus, you get a personalized return on investment calculator, we're so proud of this calculator. Jesus, it took a long time to spell it, but basically it enables you to work out, it's a static calculator in a dynamic environment, but it's the best way we've got of putting some projections around what you're likely to spend, how much you're going to have to acquire a customer. You'll be able to see how that price will change based on your ads performance. So it's a really good calculator. Yeah, it just enables you to kind of map out good scenarios, bad scenarios, what the customer acquisition cost is going to be, how much space you're going to have to spend on your ads, and what the results are going to be of those ad spends. And finally, you're going to get your missed cart calculator. So that's going to look at your site and tell you what you're missing, the revenue you're missing. So then you can understand what your ads are, what your sort of or lack of ads are costing you, the revenue you're missing out on, and put in place a plan to recoup that revenue. So the Bolt Blueprint product is $9.95. It involves an hour on the phone with my team and I. We then go away and get inside your ad account. We dig around in there. We go through your website and everything. We present back a funnel to you. We give you your return on investment calculator. You can change all the fields to see every different option. And we give you our abandoned cart missed revenue calculator. We don't give them to you blank. We give them to you customized out with your own data and your own projections on there. So it's all personalized to you. And I just want to show you that missed cart calculator now. So here is the missed cart calculator for a fashion brand that's recently gone through the Bolt Blueprint process. Very big e-commerce site, doing really, really well. Like, oh my God, I just wish I had this site. The problem with doing e-commerce campaigns is I always wish that every product was mine. But amazing revenue going to this site, absolutely brilliant, but missing out on 55 grand of revenue through their add to cart sequence. Now, there's no way they can reclaim all this, the 55 grand, because there's always going to be people who add to cart and don't check out. That's life. But a certain percentage, we can see the online shopping cart abandonment rates. They've all been mapped out and scientifically studied. We know what you should be achieving, and therefore we can work out the proportion of revenue that you can reclaim and help offer you advice on how to do that. So that is the Bolt abandoned cart missed revenue calculator. So going back to those three choices, if you do go ahead with the Bolt Blueprint, then basically you will be able to implement all of this yourself. You will have your funnel map. You can go away and implement it. You can come back to us for help and support. You can give it to a team member. So you can take on a full-time employee and give it to them and tell them, implement all of this. If needs be, we can work with team members to help train and mentor them. Or you can give it to us or an agency like us to run for you. But either way, you are no longer going to be in that position of a lack of knowledge. You will be empowered with your own funnel map, your blueprint for a profitable ad campaign. You'll know what you're going to have to spend. You'll know what the outcome should be. You'll know what revenue you're missing. It's a complete game changer in terms of empowerment and understanding. So thank you so much for listening today. Now, I'd love to talk to you about your e-commerce brand. If you've got any questions, just email me. You'll find my number below the video. You'll also find information about how to download, how to access your bulk blueprint below. And also one more option, if you want to discuss your brand with me, we offer 30-minute complimentary discovery calls for e-commerce businesses and brands, in which we can just completely, no obligation. It's just a discovery call. We can talk through where you're at, what you're doing, and see if there's any way in which we can help you. So listen, thank you so much for listening today. Great to talk to you. Let me just get the camera back so that I can show that I'm here and give you a wave goodbye. Great to talk to you today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll look forward to getting to know some of you better.